to the stream. Let's just see how it goes, shall we? I think we have news in like 3 minutes. That's why I'm going on early. Let's just see to be sure. Yeah. Non-farm employment change. And yeah. And yes, Reba. Getting a little bit of a V-shaped here, coming back into value area low. I'll wait for the news drop. Seems my top step is back and activated. Again, the rhythmic is working. Oh, I don't know what that was. Algo is clearing out on ES. You can see how the order book just died. Let's go see how the news plays out. I just want to record it in the annals of history. Let's go see what the resting orders look like. Huh. And here we go, news. Interesting sweep. Settlement is at 692. What does the news actually say? Let's go check it out. Forex, factory, news, negative 33K. They were forecasting 99K. Previous is 37K, so it's lower than forecasting. Okay. Whatever that means. Don't really have any key levels here. We have the previous day low right here. At 594.25. And then below that, we have a volume point of control about 31 points away from that. And that's about it for key levels in this region. Got the daily open up above at 693. Not really much in this range. You have an internal low that it's trying to hit 3 times now. And yeah, if we come below this little character 96 contracts at 644, we could be seeing some buyer absorption on the internal liquidity here. Would need to see some follow through. Don't really see any reason to hold the range other than to just idiot box before open. That was a pretty interesting news. Pop back down to the range. Do we come back on these 100 buyers here? That is the question. What's up? Welcome, welcome. You're the first, hopefully, of many to join today. Could be getting the buyer absorption to hit some key levels below. Let's see. Do we get to go to the previous swing low? We already hit this wick like 3 times internally, so next stop is that London low from yesterday. I don't know. I don't know, man. Haven't really expressed much sell side on the, what do you call it? Session. We've only come into 300 in an aggressive sell side. So there's been a lot of buyers on the way down. Within this range. Not really getting any interest here in this. No contracts as of yet. Remember, there is a bank holiday on the 3rd and the 4th for Independence Day for America. So this could be like a run for profit of sorts for the week. Thursday and Friday count as one day. Or like probably just have Asia and London, right? What other news do we have for the week? Let's just go figure that out real quick. We got another orange folder, 45 minutes after open. What else? Red folder, hour before open tomorrow. And red folder, 30 minutes after open tomorrow. And that's about it. Okay. Let's go see what's in the lower time frame. So we got the bearish cloud kind of broke the super trend only as a stop loss hunt, but the continuation idea seems to be the play to the downside. We're now pushing up against that buyer absorption idea. And yeah, I'd like to see some acceleration through that level, and then I'll be happy. Okay, starting to get paid on this top step funded. And yeah, going to put my stops at break even. All right, it's a free trade at this point. Let's see how far it goes. Booyah. 100 ticks up on 2 contracts. Haven't peeled one off yet. I have one at an internal low. I'd like to see it accelerate. No, don't go back. Well, it just took 450 in sell side. All right. I'm going to put one. If it pops up, it's going to hit out one at 68 ticks so that at least I get paid on one contract, and then the other will be at break even. So, all right, just let this thing run. Run, Forest, run. We didn't get to trade the top step yesterday, so this is nice to be able. I mean, I already have 5 days. I could take a payout right now, but I wanted to build this one up a little bit more. Could you accelerate a little bit more? That'd be nice. Thanks. If it pops up, I'm locking in 80 ticks on one contract at least. The stop on the other one is break even. 654. Just above this buyer. Oh, there's one taken. I realized 400 bucks. So 400 bucks is realized gains. And let's just let the runner sit at break even or just slightly into profit. 10 ticks, 50. We'll use that 44 guy as defense. Defense, defense. And we'll target just shy of the lows. How about that? Just aiming a little bit before the do we have anything here? Yeah, we got that previous swing low 594. So there was just no key levels here to justify a bounce. So when this news pulled it back, that seemed like a trap being engineered, and then it came below this cloud, and we were looking at the buyer absorption potential. Everything is potential until it's realized. And then we just pulled the trigger, as we do. If it stops the runner, so what? It's 450 bucks locked in. Do those low-hanging fruits enough times and you get paid. So either it stops us or continues. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? coming back above that buyer. You did hit 476 in sell side, so a little bit of a recovery, a bounce on those late shorters and or somebody closing out their short, causing it to bounce. You never know. But that's why it's slightly in profit. It covers the fees. And yeah, it's a free trade on the runner. Getting some buyers here. You hit 48 and 42 buyers. So these guys could be some shorts that were forcibly closed and or somebody trying to collect on a V-shaped recovery. Either way, creates more absorption potential. We just pulled up on 162 in aggressive delta. Is that going to continue higher, or did they meet their quota to continue? Let's go see what ES is doing. ES also looking to sweep the 6240, and there's some other resting orders below. Ooh, you had a 91 seller at 634 looking to probably capitalize on the short, so they may use them as absorption fuel unless the sellers are definitely in control. I'd like to see it reward this guy and not hesitate. If it hesitates on this guy, then I'm going to possibly close it. But if it's rewarding this seller, then the sellers are definitely stepping up to the plate. Needs to stay below 635. Going to trail this to 638 to lock in another 300. If it pops up, I'm out. So either it rewards this seller here or I'm out. Thank you. Let's go. Either way, I'm not moving that stop. If it goes above 38, I'm out. That was nice. Nice, nice, nice. All right. I need one more day on a pay cycle for Apex too after this. So just playing it copacetic on the Apex after this trade, and then that'll be just in time for open, most likely. It's like my 30th day on that account too, which is pretty amazing because it's like 30 days of green. All right. All right. This is what I want to see. 160 ticks. Going to trail it a little bit more aggressively, going to 25, locking in another 500. If it goes to 6, sweeping 600. Alrighty then. Alrighty then. It's going to probably pop up and stop me here at, what is that? 25. Yep, stopped. In profit, 968. Cool. All right, good enough for me. You got a 99 buyer. This is another absorption idea. It could continue all the way down. Again, there's no key levels here until the previous swing low at 594, and then the volume point of control below that at 562. So I'm going to go get some coffee. That was a win, so I'm happy for that. I'm going to log into the Apex. Cha-ching. All right. I'll be back. All right. Boom. All right, so what did we hit? We hit 610. All right. There was another 90 seller that entered there too, so it's kind of both sides at this point. But again, no real key level to signify a bounce here. Could just keep going, you know, regression trending to the downside, reject the midpoint, then come down. Regression trend to the downside. Who knows? But yeah, see trade, take trade. That's the way to do it. Switching over to the Apex. Let's do, what do we want to do? Let's do a wider stop and then go to MNQ just to not be afraid to hit the button, but actually dip our toes in, so to speak. Yesterday that happened by mistake, and that was good because we made a loss, but it was only a $40 loss, so that's better than a $400 loss, you know what I mean? So we'll do MNQ first, and then, yeah. We just need like a $50 like day, and then we can request another payout. It's looking like the buyer absorption is happening, so that regression trend rejection to the downside looks like it could be the case. You got the previous low at 59375. ES also has resting liquidity down at 6230, so it very well may go to the downside. Let's go see what the TO Discord is rocking. What's up, everyone? What's up? Yeah, so that's another inflection point, really. And there's no FOMO, really. Like, it's interesting. I remember in like times past, you'd be like, man, I could have just let it ride, you know? But it's like, I just got $960 for very little effort. So I should be blessed on that sheer fact that I just fade thing with no drawdown. So yeah, that's pretty good. So you do that enough times, and then suddenly your balance is like 4,461, you know? It's like you can't, sure, you could make it all in one day, but you could do a lot, you could lose it all in one day too. Okay, so we swept the 600s. That's what we were thinking would happen. And the previous swing low being tapped soon. Boom. Swept. And then you got 37 or 31 points below that, a volume point of control at 562.50. Bearish divergence. Swept another 300 sell side off the table. Boom, 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 boom. For 960? What do you mean at 960? When I took the trade, oh, I took two minis. Two minis. I trade with like a 2-pack with the ATM strategy on Ninja. I've shared my ATM strategy before. If you use Ninja, I can give you that, but I have a tighter and a wider stop loss. The 44 tick one is like $400 if it hits your stop. So it depends on how certain you think you are on your entry or how jittery the market is, whether the 44 is going to get hit or not. It nearly hit that one when I was up here expecting it to come back to this guy, at least to test the absorption idea I was laying out. And then it just went and didn't stop. So it bounced back up here. And then what? Like I was wondering if I think I put my stop at break even because I was at 54 or something. So yeah, I wasn't sure if it was going to go up higher than that. But then that buyer absorption potential continued. Either way. Oh, take care, man. I'll be here. And we are kind of reacting off the previous swing low. How many points beneath it did we go? 12? Oh, yeah, no problem. It's just, yeah, like my own stream of consciousness of what I'm seeing. I try to be as unbiased in my expectation, other than like seeing, you don't normally see buyers at a bottom that actually holds. So this is a thing in footprints. Like you'll see a lot of sellers hit, and then the passive buyer that's on the other end of that aggressive seller is the true bottom, if you will. But an aggressive buyer is generally impatient and or dollar cost averaging from up here. So that provides the theory of buyer absorption because I've seen it so many times. So it's just like, yeah, when you see it a bunch of times, you see it a bunch of times, you know? World of Warcraft, what? Buyer. Like, bye. Baby, bye. I made like a grand on that news short jitter. I mean, even in like TO style, you had a bearish engulfing off of a zone out of the value area low. So even without volume, you could have just taken it sheerly off that. Faux show. Simplification is good. The top step ninja apparently, like the ninja trader, like they're not letting anyone do new accounts in Trade-O-Vate or Rhythmic on Ninja Trader, but you can keep yours if it's a funded, which is like, okay, so it worked. I don't know, man. That I tried to listen to Patak talking about it on Top Step TV, but it was, he's just like, we got the best platform, so we really want to just see our traders do well on our platform. It's like, yeah, right. You want to monitor them, maybe. Yeah, and when you watch them, they try to NLP you into being unprofitable. They're like, and we know that you guys are doing this thing, and I'm like, speak for yourself, man. You guys, you mean yourself, maybe. It's like they use like that. I've studied the NLP and hypnosis and stuff, and they're taking pages out of that to use wording to get the poor saps who watch them to feel that they're woe is me, like losers. Yeah. And they're always like, when's your next your VIP or whatever they call it. It's just like, once they went away from the fire drills, why would you ever watch it? It's like, unless you should. How can we petition that? I'd love to watch that. They had Danny trades on there at one time. That's how I found out about him. Oh, that time I remember. Oops. 95 buyer at 615 getting absorbed here. Continuation. Some of their teeth look stained in the sense like they smoke meth or something. Yeah. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Hit 81 seller, 95 buyer, 81 seller. It's like I drink loads of coffee and my teeth are somewhat stained, but like I've seen, so like, what if you ever watch Top Step TV, look at some of their staffs, like um yeah, I've seen some pretty I've there's this one guy, I don't know his name, but it's like he looks like he's tweaking, man. I've seen people. And then one of their ladies who does it on London also has that. So I'm like, and she never has anyone watching her so much. So I'm like, what's what kind of bet did she lose? Um, I I wouldn't go there because she looks like a pole dancer or something. Too much makeup for my taste. Off the record, even though it's being recorded. I would say it's like for me 4 because I would. It's just like way too much makeup, and she has like a horse face. Yeah, I saw that video where it showed where she was actually raised. That was pretty insightful. Like, ooh, he slicks his hair back. Yeah. I'm just saying, I said it before. I hope that never, like, I hope we have at least have a decade of that not happening. Yeah, that's because, like, people are just, like, attention span drained and MK Ultra by YouTube shorts. As long as we can get the infrastructure for AI in, in dependent on the states, then that is all that's the next meta for the economy. So, if you're trading in units of, oil in the previous meta, this next one is like chips. Yeah, I mean, if it goes full dystopic mode, you know. Huh? Good night. Yeah, that New York guy has me worried. Like full, like the fact that people can be full out like Marxists and that's not a big deal. It's like, what? Haven't you learned enough from history? Oh wait, people don't know about or remember history.
Are you ready? Welcome to the adventure! Choose your alter ego party! Rock!
So coming back above that buyer at
Let's
615.
Ready? Fight!
Oh, nice push up. What was ES doing? Just a small little push as well.
Let's go, bub. Ready? Fight! Tornado claw! Berserker barrage! Berserker barrage! Micro! Tornado claw! Real claw! Tornado claw! Tornado claw! Real claw! Tornado claw! Berserker barrage! Tornado claw! Berserker barrage! Tornado claw! Tornado claw! Berserker barrage! Berserker barrage! Real claw! Berserker barrage!
Yeah, my crush. 87 buyer forced at 628.
Who's next?
Come on. Spider sense tingle.
Let's go, bub. Ready? Fight! Berserker barrage! Berserker barrage! Real claw! Tornado claw! Berserker barrage! Tornado claw! Berserker barrage! Real claw! Let's go!
I guess the previous swing low is the temporary bottom here.
Who's next?
Buyers stepping back into control. Took out 400 in buy side.
Let's go, bub. Ready. Let's go.
Are you still there, Tio? You left. No. Okay, can we beat it before the open? That's the question.
Let's go, bub. Ready. Fight! Real call. Real call. Real call. Let's rock. Tornado call.
You ever play VR, Tio? One of the scariest experience was Resident Evil on PlayStation VR. It's freaky. Because you look away, but the zombie's still in your face, so it's really different when you're not removed with the TV screen, you know. So they like stab you in the chest. That reminds me of that Kill Bill dialogue where he's like, give me the silent treatment when we pretend like we don't care. Or we pretend that it bothers us. Tarantino had some of the best, like, dialogue in his movies. Rejecting off the value area low. Alright, we're not going to continue. Let's just game on. Say what? No. I traded the short earlier with the red folder news thing, but that was it. It was about an hour ago. So that was an interesting previous swing low bounce. How many ticks would that have been? 65 points, 262. Tick. What does? They just get like their cash full or something? Wait, what? No, skip this version. Every time I update OBS, it messes everything up. The last time I did that with Elgato, it like messed up my... Speaking of which, I'll get distorted if I don't reset it every now and then. It's annoying. You spend all this money on these mics and their software screws it up. Nice. Doodah. Doodah, doodah. Camptown racers sing that song all the doodah day. What's up, Garwinkle Keller? Oh, nice. the upside. So they recovered the wick from yesterday's low. Technically, it's the third time hitting that zone. A 134 seller entered the fray at 650. Charizard. Pretty much anything for N64 was bad. I mean, they had some good stuff like 4-player like GoldenEye and Mario Kart. There was a lot of terrible stuff. What am I trying to look up right now? Oh, the news. Let's see. Was there anything? There was some. See you later. Have fun. Not really any news. If you guys want to hop into the YouTube, you can see some stuff. Looking at like a thermograph thing for the science on heat. The value area low to getting rejected off the value area low as of this moment. But this 134 character, this seller could be potential sell side slingshot, like a delta slingshot to the upside. They engineer this like seller pullback and then they propel them, and that's what you get, that pullback retest bounce. So we could come back all the way to like that volume imbalance at like 610. Could, and then engineer some sell side and then go. Who knows? What does ES have above and below? On the left, it's in ticks. So this is 2,000 ticks on the farthest left, and this is 1,000 ticks. Ticks is not time bound, it's trade bound, so you can see each auction as it ends. So every 1,000 trades, it's doing this. So every 2,000 trades, it's doing this. So you can kind of see at the end of each auction who's in control. That's auction theory. But yeah, it's not confounded by time. It's at the end of the 2,000 trades who came out on top kind of thing. It's ridiculous that TradingView tried to make ticks like paid like an extra tier up from premium. Like that's a little bit money grubbing, if you ask me, because it's literally free on everything. You could get it on Ninja or whatever platform. So yeah, on ES you have not so much populated liquidity anywhere. Technically you have more laddered to the upside, but not anything significant. What do you mean detailed screenshot? I could just take a screenshot, yeah. Here you go. Here you go. Yeah, no problem. It depends on if you, yeah, like if I move it and switch back and forth, it's going to be hazy. But also if I zoom in like this, you can see the number 134 clearly, right? And on my screen, because it's an ultra wide, when I go back to this level, I can read 134 easily. So yeah, it's going to be dependent on your screen you're watching it on. If you're watching it on a phone, for sure you're not going to be able to see that number 134 there. That's why I circled the large amount and talk about it. But yeah, I get what you're saying. It depends on the screen you're on. This is like a 46-inch wide monitor that's being displayed, so it's a little bit, unless you're looking at it in the same way, it's going to be, yeah, harder to read. So but if I don't put it in context like this, where I'm seeing the buyer and the seller, then I can't zoom. If I'm too zoomed in, then I can't see it clearly for myself. So that's why I'm constantly circling these like characters, if you will. And 7 minutes. So the left is going the most granular into the candles. You could technically do this here, like if I zoom in. Oh wait, no, I don't have it set up with footprints. Never mind. But yeah, if I zoom out, it will take the footprints off, right? And just turn it into this. So and that's what the bottom is for, because they have like the session delta, and you see this session and then delta. It will tell you what the delta is for that candle. Like this 2000 lot auction was negative 236. So even if you can't see all these numbers, the one just above the bull here is like saying 236 negative. So that negative delta shows you what there was a seller aggression of negative 236 in that 2000 lots, and then it didn't continue down. So that could be like a seller absorption / slingshot. There's many terms for it. If you have these, listen to like OrderFlow courses like delta slingshots and stuff, where they pull back slightly to engineer some of the opposite side to slingshot them up in the other direction. 5 minutes. So to recap, there was like that buyer absorption when we started streaming. The news broke, it jittered up and then came down, and then we were looking to see the buyer absorption fail, and then it faded, and then we took the profits on the top step, and then it came back, bearishly retested, engineered some buy side, came down on like 1,000 in sell side at the previous swing low, and then it popped up, hit some buy side, hit some sell side, then punished the sellers, turned them into buy side, and now it's starting to pull back, and there's another seller for 134 at 650 re-entering. But to put it simply, just hit the previous swing low, bounced out, went 12 points below it, and then held and came up from yesterday's low of New York. And 3 minutes. Watch your trades if you're in any. I just need one more day for this Apex thing. Take it chill. I'm in micros, so I don't annoy myself with a mistake. Two minutes. Let's go a little bit granular on the book map to see what's above and below. Ut supra, ut infra, as above, so below, on the liquidity. Sector flecter senequeo supro socharonto movebo. Okay. And yeah, so coming above that seller for that delta slingshot potential and coming back into value area low, although open in less than a minute. Potential seller absorption / slingshot. And how many more seconds until we open? 37. Super trend on the 30-second holding. Let's see. Let's see how she goes. And here we go. We're open. Pushed up on 200 and buy side. That seller absorption slingshot paid from that 650 inflection point. Okay. That immediate seller absorption slingshot idea was the only idea I saw right now, so either you took that or I'm just waiting right now. Comes back on 650, the sellers could be stepping back into control, the value area low at 64. Is there any resting liquidity? There's 150 on, yes, at 62.30. Boom. Buyers, it went and retested that guy and then just came back into value area low and now back at VWAP. Instantaneous burst up. Settlement at 692. Just shy of it. Just hit about 200 in buy side with that push to VWAP. Testing some of the sell side. I took the buyer hit to the VWAP fade on some micros just to wet my whistle. Stop at break even on the runner. It's only micros, so it doesn't matter. I just wanted to say I took it. If I get 50, I might just like call it there because that's all I need to qualify for the last day. I don't think they have a problem with like flipping a single day. If you do it all the time, that's a problem. But I have such a high level of P&L. I don't need to make so much. I just want to put the 8 days in. Alright, so we got the 50. If it just goes a little bit lower, we're getting some more buyers here. So this could be some buyer absorption potential, which means to the downside here. It needs to go below 666. Oh, just stop the runner. Although the buyers have expressed control from this punishing of the seller at 650. We're a hop, skip, and a jump from the settlement at 692. Mm-hmm. 700s. Just pulled back on some trailing stop loss guy. Hit him out for 108. Sell side at 686. Could accelerate up through these resting orders up to 715 if it punishes this 122 seller at 686. I took it for long, stop at break even on the runner, already peeled one contract off. That I switched over to minis for because it looked juicy, so that's paid for the 8th day on the payout cycle. It's a win either way. $200 locked in on that. I saw that 122 seller. I was like, he's not getting out, is he? Oh, well, we're stopped on that. So that's all I need to do for that PA for the 8th day. So that's 8 days on a pay cycle. I can make a request tomorrow. Boom. There was a seller that entered at VWAP. Here, I'll circle it for you guys. It's a 122 guy at VWAP, and they came back on them, and I was like, okay, I'm in. And then punishment began. And there was resting orders above on Bookmap up to the VWAP on Bookmap. So I was like, coming up to 715 seems reasonable. So take the reasonable play with your ATM intact. Pulling back now. You gotta keep it separated. I keep thinking there's that, what's that orange folder? I keep thinking of that orange folder. So, okay, that's in half an hour. Half an hour, and then you have crude oil 15 minutes after that. So that's the volume point of control. We had a hit to the volume point of control, rejected off of it. The volume point of control isn't a clear node, it's like a shelf. So it's establishing like a node in this region most likely, and then it'll kind of come up and bounce off this node now because we had 2 bounces. Volume point of control now shifting down to here. Testing the sell side here, coming back on that under 22 686 seller. What's ES doing? ES is kind of holding actually. Looks like ES wants to sweep up to 62.50. So this looks like a pullback to continue the long idea. But what do I know? Looks like it could be doing this thing. Getting those sweeps up to 62.50. Unless that's a nice sell wall. But looks like easy pickings to go burp up and grab it. You got some volume imbalances here at the value area high too. Let's see what it does. How's everyone doing, by the way? Hopefully green. I'm basically done. That's all she wrote. I'm like 17 grand profit on this PA, so I don't need anything more right now. Yeah, thanks. Here, let me pull this up on a different window and see if I can show it without giving my things to details out for free kind of thing. I know what I can do. I can just take a screenshot. How about that? There we go. I am just paranoid, so. Alright, so here is the graph for the P&L on that. So it's basically 30 days of all positive. This negative was when I took the first payout, so it's pretty good. We're just kind of hovering around settlement. Settlement, once again, at 694. So we're just like creating some volume around the settlement from the daily open, basically. And so we're trying to flip this into a idea for a long. The next key level up at 732 for the 27th of June's volume point of control. You got the weekly open up at and the Monday low at 751 too. So volume cloud is pretty strong, so it's bullish as of this moment. You just had 114 buyer just enter, kind of pushing things up too, so the buyers are expressing themselves. And the theory of ES sweeping that 62.50 is coming to fruition. We just swept 514 buy side with that push up there. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Beautiful. So we came to the seller that was circled here, this inflection point at VWAP, and then couldn't go below their entry to reward them. Somebody entered a buyer and it immediately went up with the buyer, so it was saying, telegraphing the buyers being in control. We also had that confluence with the ES resting liquidity, so this is like a very nice long. Had I not already taken a trade and it played out, I would have considered taking that slingshot. And that is the definition of a delta slingshot right there. If anyone wants like a order flow course thing, I can perhaps hook you up if you send me a DM. There's a 500 lot at VWAP here on ES that's like trying to get filled on a pullback and or push the price up the rest of the way to 650. See that 560 lot? Is that going to get filled? Or they're holding the line? 572. Boom, boom, boom. Thanks, Jonesy, thanks. Yeah, it's strange. It's like, I was saying it like on Friday when I was talking about I had to give this professional development seminar thing, and the topic was set by somebody else for like stress management or whatever, like how to control stress management. And I was like, I didn't question why they were asking me to give that topic, but as I said, I had like a forte in personal interest in that whole like self-help genre, so I had to like put my money where my mouth is. So like in the months leading up to it, I started like dusting off all those rituals, and then, you know, exercising more regularly, for example, counting my calories and doing all this stuff. And I've lost like something like 6 kilos at this point in a month. And then like bought a bunch of like dumbbells and all this stuff and working out regularly. And then amazingly, it's like having like 30 days straight of green. It's like it all connects kind of thing. So it's kind of like, okay, I guess the streaks are connected to your mentality and your kind of like everything, I guess. Seems cliche, but it is true. Been thinking about doing that whole health kick anyway. I needed like a catalyst to do it. But after visiting my dad in the hospice in January, it's been like on my mind since then, really. So is this a sell wall at 62.50 or what? So far, not clearing it completely. That 500 contract person pulled their contracts at VWAP as it started to come back. Did they move lower, or are they just gone for now? Oh, they moved it down to 62.15. So are they trying to gravitate it up? Interesting. I'm gonna take this whale off the screen, but I ordered a megalodon tooth necklace, as random as that was. My son's been interested in prehistoric animals, let's say, so I figured I would show him something cool, like an actual megalodon tooth. How many pounds is kilos? That's a good question to ask Google. Let's find out. I don't know pounds that much anymore. 6 kilos in pounds. 13 pounds. And I added some muscle too, so it's like probably more fat than that. But it's like actual number of 6 kilos. Flipping the volume point and control at 710. Possibly sweeping up to previous day VWAP at 736. You got those volume imbalances and those other key levels. The June 27th volume point of control at 732. The weekly open at 751. Ah, what line is that? A gamma wall? Gamma charge. Boom, 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 boom. Huh. Okay, so once again, the buyers step up into control. The 30-second super trend has just been holding the entire time. So the cloud and the super trend is your friend till the end. That's one of my older indicator systems. Like you got the Momentum Master Trinity, you got the baseline cross up event, and then you got super trend and the cloud, the Clan McCloud. About to sweep 6250 now. You got more resting liquidity to the upside on NQ2. Some orders at 22, 728, 730, 731, and 732. You got about 100 contracts wanting to get swept. Depending on how heavy of people are playing minis with this breakout, they'll play with them a little bit before they do it. Holding the trend dot. About to sweep that volume point of control. The hourly close in 5 minutes, so this hourly could become pretty strong. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, the kilos. Oil, nice. America. Yeah, they use kilos in Japan, so I always have to calculate it every time. It's like I don't have that, like once in your formative years you're like indoctrinated to one system, it's hard to break. But the metric system is actually good in many ways, like for measurement of length and stuff, like meter, and like the meter, for example, is linked to time through one pendulum. So like 1 meter string will have a periodicity of 1 second. And so, like, there's all these metrics, pardon the pun, that are linked to other things. Like a cubic centimeter of water is also like a gram. So there's all these measurements that go across domains using the metric system in science. So in that case, using American inches and stuff is stupid. When it comes to science, the metric system's better. Yeah, this is like, I don't know what any of this is in here. It's just a bunch of both sides. So they're going to play with both sides. Yeah, exactly. The metric wrenches and stuff. Yeah, it blew my mind when I was doing a lesson on pendulums, and then I learned like the meter and the second were inextricably linked, and I was like, wait. So which one came first? And then I couldn't get an answer, and I was like, wait. So we standardized which one off of which one? What's going on? And then it's like, oh, all of our systems of measurement are kind of just man-made fabrications anyway, but it's still kind of cool that the meter and the second are kind of the same thing. So that became a point in my science lessons, like the meter equals the second. Because I don't remember a teacher teaching me that. I remember doing tests with pendulums, but the teacher was boring and didn't really explain like cool stuff like that. If they were even slightly philosophical, they could have been like, which came first, the meter or the second, and then blown at the students' minds, you know? Volume point of control, that's 715. We're moving this node is more prominent now, so this could be like a test of, as I say it, a test of the volume point of control to turn it into support and come up and claim these volume nodes up here. Again, the super trend is holding, cloud is holding on momentum master. Coming back beneath the trend dot though, so the trend could sputter. We hit 228 with that burst up. That is one of my own creation that is a volume-based cloud. That's actually how I came into the algorithm to find TO with Nebula, because I was like, wait, that looks like my cloud, but I was trying to see if it was similar and what he was using it for. But yeah, it was based off of Ichimoku, but with volumetrics included. On the channel you can find some like shorts about it. All right, so it looks like this wall is holding at 6250 for now, and NQ as well has those sell or like orders up to 22,732 holding pretty strong, and those are people that established from the top here, and then they've set their resting orders pretty firmly without budging. The hourly has closed, so we got our rejection wick closing of this amount. Basically like a 21 point wick on the upside and probably a 21 point wick on the downside as well. So just pretty even, 17. So you got to establish the opening hour salvo and then continue for the hourly. Super trend at 701. Nice oil at 200 MA. Daily open on oil down at 65.56. Not really a key level here other than that previous low hourly. I'd wait for it to hit that 65.56 at least, but I don't know. Each asset has its own personality in the way it moves. I'd have to dedicate a lot of time to see how it works, but it looks like it's working out for a lot of people. More power to them. More power to them. Hitting a bunch of buy side and turning these sellers into buyers up here. Now you're sweeping those resting orders. Yes, now attacking the 6250s. Just hit about 230 in buy side. Got another batch of 47 up at 60 or 22,731. Probably gonna go sweep the rest of that. Sweep, sweep, sweep. And swept it up. And just going for that imbalance now that it produced on the way down. Yes, still about to go to that 6250. A lot of people adding more up in here for the ES. Ah, thanks. So that was a pretty clean read. It had a little bit of a shenanigan here where it stalled out a little bit below the volume point of control, but never went back on some of these buyers, and it punished those sellers after the double bottom. So it's basically buyers in control until they're not. Back at previous day VWAP. Yeah, we're about to sweep the 6250s in a heartbeat. And yeah, it could just drift off this volume point of control and keep going up to the value area high at least. But that's about it. I'm basically done for the day. So if anyone has any last questions, I can take some, then I'll be out of your hair until tomorrow. Any questions? There should be a cutoff point anyway, I think. I was on a little bit earlier today for that news folder when I shorted that. Oh, nice. No problem. Likewise, thank you for sharing your time. So I will catch you guys tomorrow then. So trade safe and keep it positive. That's all you can do. Keep it frugal, keep it positive, and be grateful. Have a good